Everybody, welcome to the Early Alert. Brian Good here on this Tuesday. Here's the bigger picture of the remnants now of Irma, no longer a tropical system. And look how expansive it is, all the way from near the Outer Banks, North Carolina, all the way to just south of the Ozarks. Very stretched out, large, classic extratropical looking system now. No longer looks tropical. It doesn't have all that convection and heavy rain wrapped all around the core of it anymore. Now it's got the classic comma shape look to it. But what's interesting about that is it is allowing that that flow again of those rain bands into the mountains. But as I was talking about yesterday, as the wind goes down off the mountains, then you get a dry punch of air, and it's allowing for that dry punch to move right into our area for this afternoon. That could be great timing for us to pick up at least a bit of a break, because we've had rainy starts of the day so far. Some showers and downpours passing through the area, not overly heavy. I think roughly about 1/4 of an inch has been the general trend on some of the rain totals. But as you can see in the past couple of frames, the visible satellite, you see just a bit of that clearing. In fact, some of the reporting stations like Somerset and Pulaski County down that way reporting the sun's coming out. And that's important because that will then set the stage for that break and some decent warming for the afternoon period. However, on the northern side of that circulation of Irma itself, there will likely be another little push that will move right into that heating that we have, and that will allow for rain and maybe even some thunder to take place as that moves in here for this evening. Let me show you what the high-res models have got, and they're in pretty good agreement. First off, here's the HRRR model. Here is the current look to what it has. Of course, the model always shows it a little more exaggerated, but it's got the placement nearly perfect. So confidence is high on the placement aspect of the model. And it shows that as we head through the day here, we're going to see that rain band kind of pivot around, but then we get into that drier pocket that forms right around 2:30, 3 o'clock. But see in southern Kentucky, you can already see that push developing out of Nashville. That will then work its way in to areas we head into this afternoon, into the evening. The aiming of the models has been very close to the 7 to 8 o'clock hour for that then to rotate in for that second evening band. And then that will kind of fade out and then just spotty showers after that. The RPM model, your current radar, it too, really good on the placement. It also shows these bands of rain, kind of this particular one now rotating through, kind of fading out. There's the break. Now, it's not as obvious with the break, but it's there. And you can see the obvious warming that happens. And it's taking us to 76, 77 degrees. But you also see that southern spoke, the second one, already forming. It works its way in slowly, but it too gets us to that 7, 8 o'clock window a bit to impact us here along the Ohio River for that second round. And then that'll rotate out. And then we're going to get into just a general light rain and drizzle scenario. Let me show you what that will look like as we head into tomorrow. Just areas of light rain passing through, because the core then of Irma, which is not going to be solid, it's just going to be kind of a cloud shield. It will be a cold core system now, so tropical systems, have the warm core. This is a cold core, so as the rain falls, it is going to allow for that cooler air aloft to kind of get pushed down to the ground level, so very little movement in the thermometer tomorrow morning to the afternoon. I'm going to go in the lower end, even lower what some of the models are saying, but I think usually these setups, we really struggle, especially outside the city, to climb at all. Even at 12:30, it's showing 50s in some spots, but it's just a good nap day again tomorrow. So kind of just a rainy day, gloomy, showers around. Overall rain totals will depend on how these bands pivot around for the rest of the morning, and again for that afternoon or that evening band. How heavy will that be? Will it be convective in nature, like a thunderstorm band? Then we could get some totals that could exceed 1.5 inches, but that will be pretty isolated. So overall, the rain totals are going to focus where these bands have been most concentrated. And so far this morning, it's been right here along the Ohio River in southern areas of Indiana, or I-64. And then the evening band may focus as well right over it. So that may be where the higher rain totals end up out of this entire event. We shall see. All right, then looking beyond that, the weekend looks fine. In fact, we should really dry out gradually Thursday and certainly on Friday, and looking good for the weekend. Jose, still a Category 1 hurricane, barely even a hurricane though. Keep that in mind. The track is still for that loop-de-loop idea, and then to try to aim toward the Carolinas, but the cone of uncertainty, can go in that direction. But the general trend on the models is to show it obvious turning out to sea, because we have several fronts moving in next week in our area. One will arrive Monday and Tuesday. That will be one that really will help push Jose out of the way, and then another one toward about next Friday moving through. Here's the upper air pattern. Here's the GFS. You can see the pressure here. Here is Irma. Here's the high to the north, and we're waiting to see what happens to the trough coming in from the west. And as you can see, the high pressure moves out of the way, allows Jose to move up the coast, because here comes the trough. Tropical systems don't like troughs. It will try to find a way through in between, and it does that. So that allows it to begin that turn north and avoid land areas altogether, and then the trough becomes our issue. The Euro model, a little different, a little faster too on the reaction to Jose. It doesn't even want to do the loop-de-loop idea, really. Just wants to get Jose out of the picture altogether, finds a way out by finding a weakness in the ridge, takes it, and then here comes our trough, which will come in just a little bit slower than what the GFS had. So we'll fine-tune next week, but so far, I think we're looking better to avoid Jose for an East Coast issue. That's good. It's really good. But if the GFS is right, and really the Euro has got the same thing, but it's all about the timing of this front. The front early in the week, I'm not too concerned about. It's the front for the latter half of the week, near the first day of fall, that I think may have more of a punch to it. Now, the GFS has it more of a nocturnal arrival. That way, we have some storm energy to work with Thursday, the day before, but the system hasn't really arrived yet. By the time it does arrive, we don't have that much to work with. But timing's everything. So if the timing were to get adjusted, then that could be a strong thunderstorm issue to deal with later next week. And, of course, the 22nd being fall at 4:02 p.m. It's already felt like it. But it's coming, guys, officially on the calendar. So there you see the two rain chances, Monday and the 19th. The first front, second one on the first day of fall. And then we get a little more fallish. Temperatures drop into the 70s. So we'll monitor the trends here on the next couple of days on this rain. Otherwise, really, it's going to get back to a summertime feel for this last weekend of summer. Perfect timing for that. Have a good one.